Hey, so I wanted to do a series on manifestation because no matter how much we seem to talk about it and study it, no matter how many people are talking about it, and no matter how much we kick that dead horse and drive that message home, we all can forget to consciously manifest the reality that we want to live in. Like, we'll get on autopilot and, we'll be like, why is this like, what's going on? Like, there's all this chaos happening. We're like, oh yeah, I forgot to like stay conscious of my thoughts and feelings and emotions, and my vibration kind of got messy and out of control. So it's all about just consistent energetic cleanup. It's like sort of like a vibrational hygiene. And if we can keep a good, clean engine going, then it makes general manifestation flow a lot easier, a lot more harmoniously, and a lot more abundantly once you have the pieces and the parts down. So I'm sure, and maybe I'm wrong, but you've probably heard about manifestation. You've probably heard it explained a million times. And if not, we're going to explain it and go through it again. So I want to break down the subtle steps and levels and components that affect how well you manifest, how fast you manifest, and how you perceive the process of manifestation. So, what is it? Manifestation is basically an innate magical power that every human being possesses. There is this thing called law of attraction, and whether or not you believe in it or think it's just a bunch of like crackpot quack mania, it's always at work. And so you can either be asleep at the driver's seat and like pray for the best, or you can begin to learn how to hone your skills and be aware of your vibration and what you're attracting. So the law of vibration basically says that like attracts like. If you think of a wave that's vibrating, like an energetic wave, a wave of like frequency is going to gel with another wave of like frequency. If you have like a crazy wave like this, it's not going to go well with this wave. So it just basically is like basic physics that like this fits with this better than this fits with this, right? So we become magnets for what we are like, what we are putting out there. It's like we have this frequency like a radio station, and when we dial in with other radio stations that we match, we begin to send out this signal that says like, hey, I match with this, like, and that those things of like nature start to find their way into your reality. So this is one of our innate magical powers as people. It's at work all the time, whether we're conscious of it or not. And if, basically think about what are your predominant thoughts and feelings like most of the time. What's your flavor? What's your vibe? Are you a frantic, nervous wreck all the time? Are you super fearful? Are you enraged? Are you frustrated? Are you exhausted? Or are you like light, happy, sprightly? Like, are you feeling like you've got the world at your fingertips? So whatever your energy and feelings and thoughts are creating this like sort of like magnetic field around you, and whatever is going to come to you is going to be what you're putting out, so it's going to match your frequency. So if you're very curmudgeon and you're in a bad mood, you're probably going to keep experiencing things that drive you insane and make you crazy. If you're impatient, you're going to be in situations that test your patience. And the more you're aware of how irritating everything is, there's just going to be more. If you're running late for work, you hit every red light because you're so aware that you are late for work. Recently, I've just been like kind of a nervous driver on the interstate. There's just been a lot of bad weather lately. And the other day, I was like, I am like white knuckling it like for hours a day, like driving around for work. Like, I cannot do this. And I was like, I am aware of how safe I am. And I just said that I am aware of how safe I am a few times. And it was like I had a tangible, different feeling come over me just because I shifted my awareness. So if we can just be aware of our feelings and our thoughts, and know that when we cultivate the muscle of self-control, we can actually choose to say no to that tormenting loop of like terrible footage playing like behind like the scenes all the time up here, you know. Turn down that terrible voice, like put it on mute and choose different thoughts, and actually create an inner landscape that is nurturing and peaceful and harmonious. And the more harmonious our inner landscape is, the more harmonious our outer world will be. So basically, manifestation is taking energy and making it, bringing it into physical form. It's taking potential and shaping it and making something out of it. It's taking an idea and bringing it through all the phases of creativity and then making it into a reality. Or it's about taking an epiphany and embodying that lesson in your life so that you're permanently changed and you never have to go back and learn it again. The basic order of this is, first you have an idea, and then the more like this energy condenses and becomes denser, and there's like more pressure and it begins to crystallize. And as that energy crystallizes and that idea begins to form, you begin to be able to actually picture it as a reality in your imagination, and in depth and in detail. You can sit with it and imagine what it would feel like for it to already be, you know, part of your life, for your life to already be at that next level. You know, what does it feel like? What are you doing? What is your day to day? What does your house look like? What are you wearing? Like, what are you eating? Who's with you? What kind of experiences are you having? What smells and tastes, and how do you feel? How does it feel to be you at this moment? And how grateful you are and how excited. So you get a very detailed picture in your imagination about this vision, and to the degree that are able to verbalize it. And when we verbalize it, our mouths, what we say, are the words that we use are very powerful magically. The tongue has the power of life and death. What we speak has physicality, it has energy behind it. And so what we say is in the early stages of manifestation. They're like spitting seeds into soil. So we want to be careful about what kind of seeds that we're spitting out, because we don't want bad, destructive, invasive crops to start growing and choking the life out of the good vegetation that's going to be nurturing for us and for our lives. So we want to be careful about what we say, because we're so powerful, and what we say becomes things. So we speak our vision into reality. We begin to get excited emotions about it, and we begin to cultivate certainty and gratitude. We know it's coming. And we build ourselves up in this excitement, and it creates this like energetic engine that runs on excitement and enthusiasm and certainty and confidence and gratitude, and having in the now wholeness, already having it there. And then from there, we integrate all of these things. We fine tune our plans. We get a strategy going. We dream about it. We take our visions and we actually write them out. And we take that ethereal, astral dream world and we pull it from that place and we put it into the physical world, pen on paper. You can even make a vision board so that you're taking pictures of, is a reflection of real reality that's already happened, that already exists, right? You're claiming that. You're saying, okay, look, this is already real in this regard. And then you take that and you put it on your vision board, or you make a magical manifestation box, which I have both. The box, basically you can cut out pictures like you would that you put on a vision board. You write down notes that you want and you put it, and you make this special box and you put it in that box. And so, yes, the writing out is another magical, physical, manifesting form, that you've brought this idea into some part of the physical space in the world. And so it's like a symbolic gesture, but it's like leading, it's building more momentum, it's showing the universe what you want, it's like putting your order in and you're making it real. So you're taking, you know, divinely inspired ideas and you're executing them. You're taking the steps. So it's not just about visualizing and feeling it and making it real through willing it to happen alone. You also have to like take action. But then there's a lot of components that create dissonance and resistance. And so those are not the more fun parts to deal with. And that these are the parts where it's harder to find, you know, it all talked about in one place at one time. So you just sort of like gather up these parts of the process over time, and eventually the puzzle pieces begin to fit together. So we'll talk about the things that cause resonance. We're going to talk about the things that cause dissonance. And so we're going to like take apart the law of attraction, and we're going to look at the more subtle aspects of it that it's like baking. If you've ever baked, if you take liberties and you go against the suggested rules, you usually ruin whatever you're trying to make. Like if it says melt the butter, you have to melt the butter. If it says use cold butter and cold hands, it has to be done that way. Or if it doesn't, whatever it is won't turn out the way it's supposed to. Like something vital about the texture will be off or whatever. So that's sort of like the law of attraction. The law of attraction is finicky, but once you understand the parts and pieces and you follow them and you are aware and you're keeping track, then eventually it becomes like riding a bike, and it's not in its second nature and you can do it no problem. But at first it's like there's turbulence, and it's not that there's not always some turbulence, because we are moody creatures. Like, you know, we manifest well when we're in the best, lightest moods, but we're not always in that kind of mood. So we have to learn how to cultivate ourselves to get in that mood quick if we want to do, if we want to manifest something with ease and with certainty and with harmony and with as little obstacles and resistance as possible. So we're trying to reduce the friction and set ourselves up for success. So we'll talk about the aspects of manifesting, the parts and pieces of the law of attraction. We're going to talk about kind of the ordering steps and how it's related to the expansion of consciousness. It's paralleled. It's so weird. It's like everything in this physical world is parallel to the spiritual world. So whatever we're trying to manifest out in the physical world is going to be connected to something that we also need to shift or transform on a spiritual level. And so that's sort of like the thing that will turn the key for whatever it is to the breakthrough to happen, or, you know, the everything to fall into place and come into fruition. So this is what we're going to be talking about in coming videos. Let me know if you have any questions or things that are eluding you about manifesting that you want me to cover. Let me know if you're interested. Let's see, what else? Follow me, give this video a like, comment and talk to me. Like, I want your feedback. Let me know what's going on, what you want me to talk about. If you have any questions, if you want me to explore any topics. Sometimes it gets lonely in this life when you're kind of an oddball or out of the box thinker, and you kind of want to find people of like mind, and sometimes you kind of hope that you find these videos that somebody's talking about something that you're interested in, and you're like, oh, well, we kind of take for granted that chance where we can sort of go back and forth, and, you know, so if you have any questions or comments, I'm interested.